Okay, students, in my second session, I'm going to discuss about the need and features of international finance and also the differences between domestic and international finance. So let us discuss about the need for international finance. And the first and the foremost need for international finance is that efficiently produce the products in foreign markets than the domestically. That is, we can produce the products more efficiently in the foreign markets when compared to the domestic markets. And second one, we can obtain the essential raw materials needed for production. The third need is we can broaden our markets and also diversify our activities. Then we can of course earn higher rates of income, okay, earn higher returns. The next one you have is effective financial planning and control is possible with the help of international finance. And also we can ensure efficient allocation of funds among various assets which are required for the purpose of undertaking international finance. The seventh one you have is acquisition of funds on favorable terms. That is, we can acquire the funds with the favorable terms and conditions which are most suitable and also very much easier for all the countries to afford for. The next one you have is the core factor for to successful business operation. So international finance is considered to be a core or important factor for the successful business operations. So moving on to the features of international finance. So after discussing about the need for international finance, students, let us discuss what are the important features of this international finance. So the following are the important features of international finance. The first feature is foreign exchange rate. So as you all know about this foreign exchange rate, I think most of you are aware of this. So in a domestic economy, this risk is generally ignored. Why? Because a single national currency, it serves as a main medium of exchange within a country. That is, if it is in India, then you have only one currency with which we can conduct our business activities, which means that it is acting as a medium of exchange. The second one you have is when different national currencies are exchanged for each other. So when we are exchanging the currency of one country with other country, there is a definite risk of volatility. What do you mean by volatility? It is nothing but tendency to change. So there is a risk of volatility in foreign exchange rate. So there is a changes in the foreign exchange rate. Why? Because we are dealing with the currencies of we are exchanging with the currencies of one nation with that of another nation. The third point is, in fact, is variability of exchange rate is widely regarded as the most serious international financial problem facing corporate managers and also policy makers. So in fact, this variability of exchange rates, so exchange rates keeps on varying and it has created a problem mainly for the corporate managers and also for the persons who are making the policies. So ಇಬ್ರಿಗೂ ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So the second one you have is political risk. The political risk ranges from the risk of loss or gains from unforeseen government actions or other events of a political character, such as acts of terrorists to outright expropriation of assets held by foreigners. What do you mean by expropriation? It is nothing but an authority of taking property from its owner for the public use or for the public benefit. I am repeating, the political risk, as you all know, it is from the risk of loss or gains from what? From unforeseen government actions. So government actions keeps on changing. It may be, we cannot predict when the government is going to change and what are the actions that are going to change, or other events of a political character. It may always be and any other reason other which is related to political character in nature, which may be like the act of the terrorists, okay, to outright what? Expropriation, that is taking the property from its owner for the public use or benefit. of assets held by whom? Foreigners. The next one you have is expanded opportunity sets. When a firm goes global, that is, when they are expanding their business, they also tend to benefit from expanded opportunities which are available now. So, of course, when you are extending your market, when you are conducting your activities throughout the world, then definitely there is a benefit from expanded opportunities which are very much common now or available in now. They can also raise funds in capital markets where cost of capital is also lower. Okay, so capital markets they can borrow or raise funds wherein the cost of capital is lowest. The firm also can gain from greatest economies of scale when they operate in a global basis. Of course, this point you all always know, I think so, students, that whenever you are undertaking global activities, which means that you are expanding your market. Once you expand your market, you are producing the products in large quantities, and thus you are enjoying what? Economies of large scale. The fourth one you have is market imperfections. So, domestic finance is that world market today are highly imperfect. Difference among nations' laws, difference in tax systems, difference among business practices, and also due to differences among general cultural environments. So, this is the fourth one. Now, these are the important, that is, I was discussing about the features. The first feature was foreign exchange risk of international finance. The second one is political risk. The third one, expanded opportunity sets. And the fourth one you have is market imperfections. Now, let us move on to the international finance and also versus domestic finance. So, what is the differences between domestic finance and international finance? So, coming on to the domestic finance, it is not exposed to foreign exchange risk. As we have already discussed, in international finance, there is much more of foreign risk, foreign exchange risk, and political risk of trading partners countries. So, in domestic finance, we don't find this foreign exchange risk and also political risk. Whereas in international finance, it is exposed to foreign exchange risk and also political risk of trading partners countries as they always tend to cross border for transactions. Okay, so there is a transaction between the countries, then of course there is a risk of foreign exchange and also political risk. The second difference is the domestic trade, it is not subject to market imperfections. So, as we have already discussed in one of the features, but international finance, it is subject to market imperfections. That is, the reason is MNCs have to operate in different economics, such as it may be either in a capitalist economic, either have to operate in a socialistic economy, or sometimes they may have to operate in a mixed economy. So, since they are operating in all types of these economies, then definitely the market is considered to be imperfect. Okay. The third one you have is the portfolios available for investment are very much limited in case of domestic trade. So, at domestic financially, we find that the portfolio is very much limited. Why? Because it is limited only to the domestic country. Whereas in case of international finance, the portfolios available for investment, they are large across the nations in the world. Why? Because they are undertaking global trade. The next one you have is access to global market is not possible in case of domestic finance. Why? Because their activities is limited only to the extent of their nation. Whereas in case of international finance, it has got an access to global market, and thereby they are expanding their business opportunities. They can expand their business opportunities because of the fact that they are undertaking global market. And the last one that you have is, of course, the scope of domestic finance is very much limited when compared to international finance. That is, in international finance, the scope is very much wider. So, students, with this, I am going to conclude this presentation. Okay, I hope all of you have understood. Thank you.